Let me say a special good morning to our listeners. Good morning to our viewers, to Classic Radio, those who are viewing GBN TV. Good morning to you also. Welcome. It's another edition of To The Point. It's Monday, and it's the 10th day of November 2025. Good morning, one and all, especially those of you via social media platforms. Good morning, Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning to you. It's To The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. Of course, with me once again, we have Mr. McPhail with us this morning, Mr. Richard McPhail. Of course, been with me around for is it the last 2 weeks or so? Yes. He's been around with us on the program, sitting in for Mr. Silver McIntyre, who chips in from time to time. We're not going to have him around with us this morning, but he's listening, whatever part of the world he's at. Good morning to you, sir. And we have Mr. Marvin. You know, I like to just butcher names folks just tell me, so I'm probably going to leave you to make that formal introduction of your name. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. And you, it's Marvin
Mccurchin.
Mccurchin. Yes. I think I got it right. Good morning to both of you once again. Welcome. How's everybody doing, sir? How's everybody doing?
Fine.
Yeah. We just popped out of the weekend. Out of the spice style. We had some rain. Was it yesterday morning?
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday morning.
Saturday morning as well.
Saturday morning also. Yeah, we had some rain. Some rain. I mean, I'm not sure from your point of anything. Of course, may just happen that you wanna chiming on this morning. As of course, usually we do that a little bit of chit chat myself and Silver. We do that little chit chat.
I think it was a fairly incident-free weekend. Mm-hmm. We didn't hear any major accidents or so. There were quite a number of minor accidents.
Days in Grenada now we don't have accidents. Sometimes a long time ago it used to be something that we used to only hear about from time to time, but it becomes something of
it's a daily occurrence now.
Sometimes you see those reports from the police and how many happen for the day. Yeah. You understand? And sometimes the numbers is a little bit alarming, and you think all of that is happening. And sometimes for yourself, you may notice those white marks on the roads.
Yes.
And you will probably know, well, an accident did occur there.
A road recently repaved, and you pass on today, it's clean. And tomorrow you pass, you see white paint.
It is what it is these days. So the urge is for folks to drive along with that due care and attention. I seem to always try to tell the road users that as they drive along, especially the motoring public, drive along with that due care and attention. It is important for your overall safety for yourself and other road users. And speaking of the word safety is going to be part of our overall conversation this morning. We're going to be talking a lot about safety in terms of how you use the roads and so forth. We're going to be focusing a whole lot on that this morning. Regionally, internationally, there was not much in the news in terms of...
Except that there's another Caribbean island.
Yeah.
It's OECS state that announced elections yesterday.
Yeah, I certainly heard about that.
December 1 is the date for St. Lucia.
Yeah, well, we certainly await that to happen.
Yes.
Certainly await that to happen. Last week we heard from one other Caribbean island. Now we hear another one this coming up. So seems to be the conversation that is really these days. Certainly not usually the nature of our conversation on the show, but sometimes we do timing on it from time to time. We sometimes we tend to see to not put a lot of, and I probably will probably get your perspective, Mr. McPhail, and then we of course chime in, of course moving after. Folks seems to think that climate change is a myth for some reason. There's a lot of folks who speak about that. Why we put a lot of attention into climate change, and we're getting more, the sun is getting hotter now than before, we're getting more rainfall. Speaking to my daughter this morning, they are bombarded by snow in Canada already. You understand, this morning they have been bombarded by snow. So folks are thinking, well, it's just things that are happening as it's supposed to. Would you say it's business as usual in the world today, especially when it comes to the climate in general, sir?
No, as a child growing up, I remember the Carnage area the water would come in the road, mainly in December. Yeah. But we see that happening now from time to time. Last week, for example.
Without even any major rainfall sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or any disturbance outside. We see that happening. So climate change is real.
Yeah. Why do people still think why do the individuals who think or maybe don't have that serious belief in it, per se? In your opinion? Maybe you want to chime in with us this morning on that. If you want to spread your imagination that wide on it this morning in terms of our subject matter.
It could be various things that cause it. For instance, reclaiming our lands.
Yeah.
Different ports being built in the center of the sea, huge area, underground tunnels, right? You have in the Arctic, the ice, the temperature has been changing, melt. So what's normally happen? All of this could affect and cause that to happen, right? And for instance, there are a lot of things being interfered. Nature has been interfered with. So they tell you rain is going to fall today, but it falls tomorrow.
When you say nature has been interfered with, you know, some folks may say it may not be the direction of a subject matter that folks may want to get into. Understand? When you said nature has been interfered with, from your personal perspective, why would you say that?
Okay, why I said that? Look in Dubai, they built in a desert, right? And to get rain, they normally send up something in the air there. Yeah, and the last time what happened, it was a proof to the world. Yeah. And the rain didn't stop it. They had a lot of disasters. So naturally, there's certain things you can't run away from it. You try to make all the excuses, but nature and time normally speaks for itself.
So you say man thoughts has evolved so much to that point that he can interfere with the natural way of how the weather occurs and so forth.
And because of that, every action brings a reaction. Yeah. We can't really run it. We may try to deny it, but exactly that's it.
Yeah. You know, I understand where you're coming from, but you know, there are folks who may challenge this conversation. You know, even though sometimes it's that visible to them, and you know, it's visible. I'm seeing a white phone, but I just want to tell you it's black. You understand? And it's not like that.
But sometimes you can't really stop that because the knowledge of individuals sometimes it takes a while. You know, sometimes we know, but we're not that certain or we're not convinced. And sometimes just a little while after, they will speak different personally when they encounter something. When you're not there, the opinion becomes different.
You know, folks may think different, especially in our hemisphere in the world, in the Caribbean. We may say these things are just talk for talk's sake, as we will say in local conversation. Hey, just for talk's sake. You know, we look at the bigger continents and other part of the world where there are more people and there are more land mass and these sort of things, and we say, well, maybe it may work there, but we here in the Caribbean also, we may always have a different opinion as it relates to that, you know.
It depends on what we've been exposed to, you know, because as small as our Caribbean is, we have a lot of proof and evidence, right? For instance, sometimes Grenada may be here, and things may happen that were devastating to other islands, and Grenada is being spared. You can't say it's just been spared, you know.
We weren't just being spared.
Right? It had to be something, right?
That's what occurred that it just didn't come in this direction.
Right. Because what normally happens in Grenada, the country, the people are very friendly, and you may seem sometimes like they're not really together. But you could recall the last incident they had with Ivan, and nobody was prepared.
Yes.
And that was a lesson to the whole nation. You just get a little thing that there is a bad weather, and they are sold out all around in the shops.
Yeah.
So from experience, Grenadians really pull themselves together and they don't take chances.
So you're saying in a nutshell, disasters, if it has a tendency to occur, or when it do occur, it's a way of pulling people together.
Yeah. You see, it's like everybody may not sin, but God has a way to get into its people, to save them.
Yeah.
Right? It's like something happened to you, whether you know God or not. The first thing comes out of your mouth, oh God. So it's like a part of us, even though we don't want to believe in it or not. Yeah. Because we wake up this morning, we didn't know how we wake up. But we are here, we are speaking, we have the bread of life. but it's not a myth, right? It's a presence that we are here right now, right? So everybody may not believe in it, but our presence alone tells that there is a greater force.
And with that being said, there is going to be someone who's going to challenge you on that. There's always someone who will challenge you in ways of having their own opinions, especially when it comes to subject matter of that nature. You understand? Someone will challenge you. Well, why is he saying this and saying that? In relation to the weather and the occurrence of life in general and how things do occur. Someone will always have a varying opinion in respect to that. So. But it's always good for a healthy debate when it comes to conversation of that nature.
Well, I'll say that too. It's like, as an individual, say mankind, when you're out there and something happens, you see somebody and want to be assisted. I doesn't see somebody. I see an individual just like myself that needed that intervention or needed a help, and you reach out to them. You don't have to know them. Now, if that's who you are, that is what you're going to do. Yeah. If it's not, you can't expect. And even though there is somebody that did not reach out, you can't really look at that person. Maybe that time hasn't reached for that person to reach out, but they will. But sometimes by seeing you reach out, it's an inspiration to someone.
Understandable. Sir. I mean, and you're correct. Because sometimes you may walk along, accidents do occur. You're driving along and you may not stop to assist someone. You may see a female who have a flat tire, or a female who may have run up the road and stuff like that. But sometimes in our busy commute, it may not be something we want to stop at the time to offer those assistance. Sometimes it may not be that we don't want to, but just sometimes it's just we just can't at the moment. We may have something else to attend to, and that couple of minutes that we may delay could be of an issue for someone to someone else. You understand? So could be reasons behind that.
But generally, we find that Grenadians tend to reach out, because, for example, last night I was on the scene of an accident, and 98% of the drivers stopped to ask if everybody was okay and offer assistance. So
it's in our nature. Not everyone may help you physically sometimes, but sometimes some level of concern sometimes it's shown some way or the other. All right, gentlemen, we drew for a break. Our first break for the show this morning. Let's take it. When we come back, we get into the full content of our subject matter this morning. When we do come back, stay with us, folks. To the point, Classic Radio GBN TV. We will be right back after the short break. Don't touch it out.
Ready, Grenada. The Grenadian General Insurance Half Marathon and 10K Road Race is on. Sunday, November 16th. The Half Marathon kicks off at Corinth Junction, St. David's, and the 10K from Wyman's House, Woodlands, with both culminating at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Monetary prizes await the top 10 finishers in the Half Marathon and the top 5 in the 10K, the oldest finisher, and even the school, club, or organization with the most participants. Transportation will be provided. The 10K race is open to all under 15 years. Join us as Grenadian General Insurance celebrates 35 years, protecting what matters and powering our champions.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, la, mi, re, do. The reason why I think our school can win is because we have a lot of potential and a lot of good singing voices. I think my school will win the competition because we have a lot of talent. I think we can win this competition because we have a lot of great singers.
I think we can win this competition because we always try our best.
Grenada, get ready! GBN and the Ministry of Education presents Christmas Harmonies 1.0. The inaugural primary school choir singing competition, December 5th, 1 p.m. The Grenada Trade Trade Center. 15 schools, magical voices, and fierce competition. Cheer for your favorites in categories like Overall Champion, Most Creative, Best Solo, and Best Group. Entrance adults $10, children $5. Don't miss the holiday magic. Christmas Harmony 1.0, where Grenada's brightest and youngest voices shine. Be there.
This Christmas, GBN is lighting up Grenada. From November the 10th to December the 24th, your festive season starts right here with GBN's Christmas Catalog 2025. Start your mornings with mid-morning magic. Weekdays 10 to 12, live fun, giveaways, and Christmas cheer every day. On Friday, December the 5th, the school's Christmas challenge lights up the Trade Center. 15 schools, 1 trophy, and the voices filled with holiday joy. Then on Saturday, December the 20th, it's Christmas in Kamahan. Live music, food, shopping, toy giveaway, and the grand tree lighting ceremony. And on Monday, December the 22nd, join GBN's caroling in the city, spreading Christmas cheer all through St. George's. Every Sunday from 5 to 7, enjoy Utah Sundays with classic Christmas tunes and prices galore. And from December the 1st, K105's Lights of Christmas. Guess that hidden cash and win. So whether you're singing, shopping, or celebrating, do it with GBN. Connecting with you this Christmas. Our partners making it possible. Flow, Ace Hardware, Foodland Supermarket, Grenada Duty Free, Answer Coating, Banfields, and Koyaba Beach Resort. GBN's Christmas Catalog. Connecting you this season. Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio and GBN TV. We have with me this morning once again. We have Mr. McPhail with us this morning. We have Marvin with us this morning. And gentlemen, welcome back. Let's get into the meat of our conversation this morning. One of our subject matter we want to focus on a wee bit this morning is safety. Not just safety in general, but we're talking safety on the level of, especially with drivers on our nation's roads. We wanted to focus on that a wee bit. There sometimes you could probably say there are different components to safety. If I'm right to say it in that particular way, different components. And we're going to focus a whole lot on that, especially with folks who drive along the roads and the proper maintenance of their vehicle and stuff could play an important part in the overall safety. Your mental state when you drive along the road is also important in terms of of safety for you as a driver and road users in general. Because you could be just a regular pedestrian walking, and your mental state could be a problem for other road users also. You understand? Just no matter what you're thinking about at a particular time. So we're going to focus a wee bit about that. So we have, of course, with us this morning. But before we move on, we had you in a conversation. We were chit-chatting a whole thing. But tell us something about yourself, sir, so our listeners and viewers could have a bit of a feel, of course, where you're coming from in terms of when we're getting to the meat of our conversation this morning.
Okay, my name is Marvin Mccurchin. Yeah. I'm living in Woodlands, St. George's. Yeah. And I'm a mechanic. Yeah. I'm a welder. All right. I'm a plumber, qualified. Right. I'm not quite a few other that. Mm-hmm. But the experience that I have, I'm 62 years old. All right. And what we be talking about is not just talk because we are talking. We're talking about a little bit of experience and safety.
Yes.
And it goes along with spiritual, physical, practical, and the actual thing that we were dealing with, because without one, the other is affected.
So you say it in a nutshell. Safety have those components to it.
Yeah.
That spiritual part of safety comes in.
Yeah.
The physical part of safety comes in also.
Yeah.
You understand? Let's delve into the physical part of it first.
Yeah.
And it's important to a point. I mean, the mental part of it is also plays an important role in safety. The physical part of safety. What kind of explanation would you like to give? Start off with that for us.
First of all, we are very busy when owning a vehicle.
Yes.
Right? And we're so busy that sometimes it's hard for us to even take our breakfast before we left the house.
Yeah.
Right? So checks, sometimes we forgot. You're supposed to be checking your brakes, depends on your mileage that you cover.
Yeah.
Depends that if you're driving to the country or back very often, coming down the hill you use brakes more, right? If you're driving in town, that means you burn less brakes.
Yeah.
But when you travel in the hills, there's a different story. Sometimes you're coming down the hill, most people depend on their brakes. Sometimes what you have to do is put the vehicle in low or second, and you allow it to brake itself instead of using the brakes, because the temperature of the pads is being increased dramatically coming down the hill.
Once you keep that constant pressure
Right.
on it. Yeah.
And sometimes coming down a hill, what you're supposed to be doing is tip, ease the brake, not a constant press. Right? Mm-hmm. And one major aspect too, alloy rims display heat faster than metal rim. So if you have a metal rim, your brakes will be hotter than an alloy rim. Alloy is aluminum, which display heats very fast. Some people call it the mag rims, not the big rims, but you have the standard mag rims. But
yes,
the alloy will display heat faster, your brakes will last longer. Mm-hmm. Right? So there are some simple things that you won't really pay attention to, but it's important.
Before you move on to the other comment, you mentioned when you start speaking that, folks will get up in the morning, skip breakfast, skip all other things, jump into their vehicle and drive. If from a mechanic point of view, how regular should an individual pay give that brakes in their vehicle, that check? Because it's one of the important components of their vehicle. How regular should an individual be checking their brakes?
At least every 3 months.
Every 3 months.
That's if it's a private vehicle.
Yeah.
Buses actually every sometimes 2 weeks to a month.
But I guess that goes with the usage also of that vehicle. Even though it's a private car, but if you're doing a couple miles per day, is it still a 3 month span?
Yeah.
So you're driving to St. Patrick and back to St. George's on a daily basis?
That would be less. The reason why too, the most important part is the quality of the brakes.
Yeah.
Now, if you allow the brakes to go right down to the pad and the rotor get damaged, what is going to happen? The rotor is going to be like a sandpaper. So within a month, that brakes could finish.
Yeah.
So it comes right back to the circumstances in which you keep your pads, your rotor disc. That would depend the lifetime of your brakes.
I mean, I understand all what you say there, and you are correct. But there are individuals who could care less. It's really said to that. There are individuals who their main reason for owning a vehicle is to get into it and drive and come to their point and come back. That's primarily what they care about. Or and only other fact they think about is maybe when it needs petrol or gas, as we would say. They go to a gas station, they fill up, they drive again, they come back home in the morning, they start, and they move. Brakes is sometimes something they don't pay or limited attention to until they may hear a squeaking per se, you understand, or maybe it comes up to to a point where they're not getting brakes at all. That's when they give it the attention.
But what normally happens, it is very expensive to maintain a vehicle.
Yeah.
But yet it's a very important part to get to point A to B.
Yeah.
Right? So what normally happens, sometimes they have some mechanics by the wayside, or some person who normally do brakes changing or oil change. Some of the vehicles been taken by them, and at a small cost, they just change it. They don't really observe or acknowledge, right, the importance, or check everything. You said you want a brakes change, you change your brakes, they give it to you. Right?
They do as you ask.
Do as you ask. But as a real mechanic, what you will do, you will observe, acknowledge, and you look on the vehicle, and if there is anything that needs to be fixed, you report it to the owner of the vehicle. Whether or not they want to do it or not, you make sure you tell them. Right? And that's how you're supposed to operate. Not they come to you and they say, okay, just do this. No. You're supposed to tell them you need to look at this or you need to look at that, especially your brake. For instance, brake carry a flexible line from the wheel to
the cylinder.
To the caliper.
Yeah.
That's as you turn, it will flex. It's made out of rubber, some is stainless steel. The aftermarket one is stainless steel. But what normally happens, that rubber after a time, sometimes it could burst or it could get clogged up. So what normally happens sometimes is that if you're driving, and so then you could press your brakes very instant like that, it could burst. Yeah. But it wouldn't burst like that, but after a period of time. Right? It could burst unknown. So even as safe as brakes could be, it could be unsafe too. So that's why sometimes what you could do, you as you drive along, you tip to see if you have brakes. All right? So because you could have brakes at this moment, and as you drive along, you don't have brakes.
Okay, let me ask you. You mentioned about changing brakes every 3 months. Is that for private vehicles or commercial vehicles?
Private.
Commercial
private
vehicles
look into them every 3 months.
But commercial vehicles, the buses and so.
Well, buses have to be very, 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 very observant, because in 2 weeks they could finish brakes, and next thing too, sometimes the persons who drive buses may not be the owner of the buses.
Yeah.
And because of that, right, the owner sometimes wants so much, and sometimes those who operate the bus want to work, and in that, sometimes by on the road to and fro, sometimes the brakes goes down so fast they're not conscious too. Right? And what normally happens is that the buses use brakes very fast, and sometimes the quality of brakes that they get don't last long.
I was going to ask you that. How important this is buying the right quality of brakes?
It's very important, because what normally happens, more temperature that you get, the quality that is not good will wear faster. And no matter what quality that you get, if the rotors are bad, it will finish fast.
Yeah.
Okay, now, as you mentioned, quality. There is a company here who bakes on bricks.
Yeah.
How safe is that?
Well, baking on the bricks is not a problem, because what they do, they get the bricks and they bake it on. They bake it on to the metal.
Yeah.
Now, when the bricks is working, when the brakes is finished, then it reaches the metal. Yeah. But when it's working, it's on the whatever part that you have there in it. So it is safe baking it on, but it's more expensive.
Yes.
All right. There's conversation I've heard in terms of brakes type, because you know they say they're the metal, they're the ceramic, and there's something else in between there. What would you recommend, especially for climate conditions as Grenada? You being a mechanic, and from your experience, what is best for conditions that we live in here in the Caribbean South?
Well, the good brakes are expensive.
Yeah. Is it the ceramic one or is it the metal one?
The both of them are good. Yeah. Depends on how you use them. Yeah. Right? So it depends on you. It depends on your pocket. And if you're talking about safety, the best would always be the ideal.
Yes.
All right. So, in spite of it's expensive, it's still cheaper because it lasts longer.
All right.
So when you buy the cheaper one, what's normally happen? When you add it up, the expensive ones still last longer.
I understand. I mean,
Okay.
I was not looking at it in the range of cost. I was not looking at the range. I was just looking in the range of which is better, especially in our condition that we live in Grenada. You know, 90% of the time we have hot conditions in Grenada. You understand? After that, you know, we're gonna have rain. There's very rare that we get rain occasionally for a whole week. Very rare that it happens.
Yeah.
Very rare. It's always more hot than there's rain. And you said, you know, the heat plays an important part in terms of the wear and tear of your braking system.
I'm not cutting you. The heat comes from the brakes, depends on how fast you drive.
Yes.
So even though the heat is there, right? The pad has a friction when it's pressed towards it. That creates the heat to damage the brakes. The natural heat doesn't really affect the brakes.
The heat of the
heat.
You know, so then we hear people make conversation saying, you know, and I'm sure there probably a listener of you that say, well, outside hot summer brakes will get hot. You know, we that conversation we come up from time to time. You know.
Because, for instance, one example is that you're driving your vehicle and you find it's going, but like you don't want to go. So what you're supposed to do, you get out of the vehicle, you take your hands and you touch each one of the wheels, right? If you realize that one wheel is hotter than the other, it is telling you that one of the piston, right, is not releasing as it should.
Okay.
So that's a very simple and a very effective way in knowing that if you have a piston is seizing on you, right?
Yeah. Well, certainly hope there's a listener who's paying attention to this conversation this morning, and paying attention to your braking system is important. That's one of the general messages that we sending here this morning. Paying attention is definitely important. We were speaking, you know, off air, and you did mention something, especially that mental way of an individual when they're driving and using the brake in their vehicle. And you said something that tickled my mind a whole lot in relation to that. Distractions is also a pivotal part in terms of your braking system, of a brake for an individual when they're driving. You understand? And sometimes you feel, well, I'm driving and you're distracted. You're probably on the phone, or you looked at something on the side, and
30 seconds.
You understand? And then you try to brake, and sometimes you may because of that distraction, you may not make that level of impact on your brakes as you should. You understand? Tell us what your take on that.
Okay, what normally happens is that your day is tied up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may have the phone there, you may have somebody in the car, sometimes you have the kids, sometimes you have a coffee that you're sipping or something. But at the same time, you did not really take your break fast, but you want to take it in the car too. And sometimes you just turn around to pick it up, and then same time something is in front of you. Right? And there goes you run into something. The first thing comes in your mind, oh, he's not paying attention. But sometimes it's not the person that's paying attention, sometimes it's you, but we're not honest within ourselves to say that we created what happened.
Yeah.
No, the thing is this. We have to be honest with ourselves, because there's something we have to live with. You may bypass it, nobody knows, but your conscience knows. And what normally happens is that if you don't correct it, you remain like that. And sometimes you'll kill somebody.
Yeah.
All right?
I mean, we understand. You said speeding is a problem.
Yeah.
You understand? But you know the focus is the distraction part of it, which has caused lots of accidents to occur. Because you're distracted, and sometimes the speed that you're going at and the distraction at the time may not cause you to get that brake as instant as you may want it. And sometimes mashing brakes instantly does not always work as you want it also.
No. But not just that. Sometimes you mash your brakes thinking that you would have bounced somebody, and somebody run into your back. Right? Somebody run into your back because you mash your brakes when you're not really supposed to.
Keeping that alert level always, especially when you're driving, how important is that, sir?
It's very important, because the thing is that when you're on the road, less than a second something could happen, because the space that you occupy is not yours. It's only yours as you travel along.
Yeah.
And we have to be conscious with that. Right? The road, we doesn't own the road. We are road users. And once we acknowledge that, we ourselves will save a lot of accidents.
Yeah. But back to the brakes, right? Especially new brakes. When you change your brakes, front brakes, you tend to get a smell, sort of burning smell when it gets hot. What causes that?
Well, the brakes that you get, it depends on the quality that you get. Yeah. And some takes a while to really seep into the rotor. Depends on if the surface is smooth or if it is rough, right? So what normally happens is that some of them, the quality is not good and you will smell it.
So you saying bad quality brakes give you a smell?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting.
It not just give you a smell, sometimes it gives you the kind of dust that it gives. The wheel stains, and it's very hard to clean too.
And that is a result of bad quality brakes.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to chime in on, Mr. McPhail?
Interesting.
Gentlemen, we drew for a break. Let's take it. When we come back, we continue with the conversation some more. Stay with us. Classic Radio GBN TV. We will be right back after the breaks. Don't touch it. After the break. No, after the breaks. But after the break, we'll be right back. Don't touch it out.
When you need your
We are Grand Dance Academy and we are participating in the GBN choral singing competition. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing the joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Gloria in excelsis I think we will win because we're confident and we sing very good. I think we will win because we have beautiful voices and we have good singers and we can make it. I think that my school will win the competition because we have good singers, we're confident, and we have the right spirit.
Grenada, get ready! GBN and the Ministry of Education presents Christmas Harmonies 1.0. The inaugural primary school choir singing competition, December 5th, 1 p.m. The Grenada Trade Center. 15 schools, magical voices, and fierce competition. Cheer for your favorites in categories like Overall Champion, Most Creative, Best Solo, and Best Group. Entrance, adults $10, children $5. Don't miss the holiday magic. Christmas Harmonies 1.0, where Grenada's brightest and youngest voices shine. Be there.
Got something to share?
Call us at 440-1252.
WhatsApp 405-3052 or 407-8458.
Or email gbnnews@gbn.gd.
GBN News, first, accurate, voted #1.
welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point, Classic Radio GBN TV. It's Monday, the 10th day of November, 2025. Welcome back once again, gentlemen. We have Mr. McIntyre with us this morning also, but can I leave him in the background for a little bit this morning? We're going to challenge him before we wrap up. We're certainly going to get him in on. Mr. Marvin, I want to talk to you about something again. You know, something that you mentioned, and I think it would be of interest to our listeners and viewers who may never have paid attention to that before. In terms of the roads, and you mentioned something that I would say as a driver, I've been doing this a little bit, you know, and I have never thought about that before. And you're saying that when the rain is falling, and it just starts to fall, it's not always a good decision to drive. It's not always the best decision to drive on the road,
especially when
it just starts falling,
especially on a long turn.
Explain that to me a bit. When you say it's not the best decision to drive on the road, especially when that rain just starts falling
very fast
at a fast rate.
Yeah, the thing is that the bitumen on the road has an oil in it, and when the rain falls, it gives off that.
Sometimes you see that little steaming.
You see a different color on the road.
Yes.
With the rain and the heat,
it looks a bit of like a rainbowish.
Rainbowish
kind of color. Yes.
That's dangerous. Because what normally happens as you drive, as you come around that turn, you find the vehicle start losing you, and you don't know. You try to control it and you can't. Right? And I see many accidents, especially around by me, the turn, and hit. Serious accidents. Now, what is best when the rain is fallen on that and wash it away, and it's wet, it's safer to drive fast on it.
Suppose someone put the challenge up to you, sir, and say, "Well, am I supposed to obstruct the traffic by stopping for a wee bit?"
Okay. No, you don't have to stop.
You don't have to stop.
Okay, when the rain starts falling, what you do? Not put your wiper on?
Yes, we do that.
All right. The same way when you're driving on the road and you know that it's bitumen you're driving on. When you come around a turn, cut the speed down that you're driving.
Okay.
To that normal, as what they say, as the road signs say. If it's 30 miles, if it's 25,
the appropriate speed.
It is 15, and then you go.
Yeah. Understand? I say that for argument's sake, because someone would say, well, he's saying, the road is now giving up this oil,
right,
which
so
could not be. So maybe I should stop until the rain stops.
No, you don't have to stop. No.
So is it then more dangerous going down a hill? Well, in that instance.
Well, the thing is that you're going down the hill. But at the same time, while you're going on cautious. Now, if you're going down the hill and the rain is pouring down, it's safer because it's being washed away. And what normally happens, the temperature of the tire is cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the rubber grabs towards that bitumen very easily.
Okay.
Right? So it's have a lot of science in it. So even if for someone to argue that point, right? When you look at the science in it with the temperature and everything, because when you drive on a road and the road hot and you press on that tire, you see the tire marks and the skid.
That's the reason why.
Right.
Another question that comes to mind: is it the age of the bitumen makes a difference? Let's say a road has been like that for the last 10 years. No work has done to it, and rainfall. Would it have the same effect?
Yeah, because that is what glues the bitumen together. It's remained there in it.
So it doesn't matter. The length of time does not matter.
No, because it's in the surface, and as the sun heats up, everything has come back.
Yeah.
Right, so because the entire road is bitumen that keeps it together.
Yeah. That's I just thought like at time, things with everything with time is that it deteriorates. So I'm saying, if it's a new surface, you maybe will expect that. But even though a road that's been there for a wee bit of time, 10 years or so, but this road for some reason it maintains its structure, it doesn't matter. Once the rain is falling at a time, you should not drive on that road at a fast pace.
Okay. One thing to identify what I'm saying there. When they're repairing the road, what you see they're doing before they put it?
Well, usually they will apply a thin film sometime.
Yeah.
Before they activate.
And the time tends to put less now because it's skimpish, but they're supposed to put a great amount, right? And then put the stop so they could adhere properly.
So they should have been added more than what we see usually taking place.
When they're repairing the road.
When they're repairing. More should have been added.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the oil. That thin film of oil. Would it have the same effect on concrete? Like you have a vehicle that's broken down and oil is spilled on the concrete.
Yeah, but
rain comes.
Well,
would it be the same
effect on the concrete, because what normally happens, if it throw it on the concrete and the rain could wash it out, fine. But once the oil is on the concrete, it's gonna skid.
So it doesn't matter whether it's a road that is have the bitumen in it or concrete. Concern should always be given once you drive on the road with that oily surface. Even though it's oil that was we understand the bitumen maybe has occurred because it's something that is
made into the road.
But even those a vehicle or something may have an oil leak or something and there's a large spill on it, you should not drive on that at any particular space. No, I understand in terms of the friction between your tires and the road with that oil between. Especially if it's a downhill or if it's a really tight corner, as we say locally, you should drive along that with some due care and concern.
Yep.
What comes to mind is years ago when Carnival used to be in the city, in the town, and the jab would go down Market Hill.
That's dangerous.
And for days after, people would be skidding while driving down Market Hill.
Or
even the lane, Lotus Lane.
That is the reason why you're supposed to either do two things. You get sand, you throw it on the road, or you get sawdust.
Yeah.
That would absorb it, actually, right? And then you could sweep it off, and then the rain come and wash it off.
Okay, because Juve morning in Lagoon Road, for example, sand is placed on the road, but it's not swept off after.
Well, the best thing really is the sawdust, Yeah, the sawdust sucks that up faster.
But, it's like there's like recent occurrence too. Years ago, I mean, most time nothing has been done to it. It just left like that with the oil. I guess as time progresses and folks are understanding,
knowledge increase.
These things have been implemented. But years ago, when after the carnival, especially Juve, and oil spills on the road from an individual plane, that was just left like that.
Yeah.
It was stuff like that. Now we see sand has been added and stuff like that, which is good, which is a good practice.
Very good.
It is a good practice, All right. It's interesting to note because sometimes I had to ask you the question in relation to it because sometimes as drivers on the roads we don't pay attention to that. Or we don't see it as a problem.
We take it for granted.
We may think, well, I'm driving a vehicle that is heavy enough so it could probably handle. It could probably handle. We thinking, well, it's not a small car or anything like that. So even though there's a little oil on the road, my weight of my vehicle could probably have the way of handling that. You understand? But it doesn't matter whether the size of your vehicle or not. Once rain is falling, you should not try to drive at a particular pace on the roads. You go within the speed limits. I guess that's the reason why there are speed limits anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes not just the speed limit, sometimes they are pedestrian on the road. Our road is not so big.
Yeah.
And the thing is that people are walking on the road and you're busy going where you're going and you're not thinking. And at the same time, you lose the control and there goes an accident.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not thinking, well, what could happen? Look the size of our roads. Not huge, But at the same time, we have very good drivers. Right? We got to thank God for that. Right?
That's interesting to know. Anything you want to add into that, Mr. McPhail?
No.
Let me get over that. Well, of course, I think we drew for our final break of the program this morning. Let's take it. And when we come back, of course, we chime in with our listeners and viewers this morning. If there's anything that they want to, of course, ask a question in terms of our conversation this morning, feel free to do so. We're probably going to tap in with Sylvan also this morning before we wrap this morning, see if there's anything he wants to add to our conversation. Stay with us, folks. To the point. Classic Radio GBN TV. We will be right back after the break. Don't touch it down. This Christmas, GBN is lighting up Grenada. From November the 10th to December the 24th, your festive season starts right here with GBN's Christmas Catalog 2025. Start your mornings with mid-morning magic. Weekdays 10 to 12, live fun, giveaways, and Christmas cheer every day. On Friday, December the 5th, the school's Christmas challenge lights up the Trade Center. 15 schools, 1 trophy, and the voices filled with holiday joy. Then on Saturday, December the 20th, it's Christmas in Kamahan. Live music, food, shopping, toy giveaway, and the grand tree lighting ceremony. And on Monday, December the 22nd, join GBN's caroling in the city, spreading Christmas cheer all through St. George's. Every Sunday from 5 to 7, enjoy the Utah Sundays with classic Christmas tunes and prices galore. And from December the 1st, K105's Lights of Christmas. Guess that hidden cash and win. So whether you're singing, shopping, or celebrating, do it with GBN. Connecting with you this Christmas. Our partners making it possible: Flow, Ace Hardware, Foodland Supermarket, Grenada Duty Free, Answer Coating, Banfields, and Koyaba Beach Resort. GBN's Christmas Catalog, connecting you this season.
Soraya, I had a big news.
What news?
Girl, the news.
No, I don't hear no news.
Girl, our school participating in the GBN carol singing competition.
For real?
For real, for real.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Me too.
He gave me beauty for ashes, turned my life around. He broke my chains and now I dance on solid ground. For all he's done to save me, I will raise my voice. I've got Jesus, so I've got joy.
St. George's Seventh-day Adventist Primary School will be participating in the GBN Carol Singing Competition. Come on out and be a part as we support our boys and girls.
Grenada, get ready! GBN and the Ministry of Education presents Christmas Harmonies 1.0. The inaugural primary school choir singing competition. December 5th, 1 p.m. The Grenada Trade Center. 15 schools, magical voices, and fierce competition. Cheer for your favorites in categories like Overall Champion, Most Creative, Best Solo, and Best Group. Entrance, adults $10, children $5. Don't miss the holiday magic. Christmas Harmonies 1.0, where Grenada's brightest and youngest voices shine. Be there. Grenada, get ready! GBN and the Ministry of Education presents Christmas Harmonies 1.0. The inaugural primary school choir singing competition. December 5th, 1 p.m. The Grenada Trade Center. 15 schools, magical voices, and fierce competition. Cheer for your favorites in categories like Overall Champion, Most Creative, Best Solo, and Best Group. Entrance, adults $10, children $5. Don't miss the holiday magic. Christmas Harmonies 1.0, where Grenada's brightest and youngest voices shine. Be there.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, once again to The Point, Classic Radio GBN TV. We have approximately just about 5 minutes or so left on today's edition of To The Point. Of course, you've been listening to the conversation between myself, Mr. McPhail, and, of course, Marvin. I'll just think with the first name for now. If you want to chime in on the conversation with us this morning, of course, you want to make a contribution, feel free to do so in this segment. I think we do have our first caller. Let's see what this caller has to offer. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome. Caller, good morning. I think I missed that caller there.
Good morning.
Caller live. Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, the program is very informative. What the mechanic brother is saying, it makes a lot of sense because I had bike for years, and the worst time to ride on the road is when the rain sprinkle that road, when the road is damp, because the sense to skid. Most times I was on the ground. That's the worst for some to ride a bike or to even drive. What the brother is saying is true. When the road is properly wet, you get better grip on the surface of the road. And then you spoke about the brother, McPhail spoke about whenever the brakes get hot and it have an ugly smell. I was told before that was asbestos that you are smelling because the brakes is made from asbestos and it's kind of poisonous, it's not good to inhale, but the brother is telling us something is different. I don't know if it's true he's saying it because it could make sense, Because nobody know asbestos is dangerous. It's a dangerous poison because it normally is not good for people because it normally give you cancer. So I know it always smells, stinks and things, so I should try to avoid, hitting that, So as a brother, told us this morning something different. I appreciate what he said. I wish you all the best for the day, and that was a nice program anyway for this morning.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. And the caller is right, because I think back then they used to make more bricks with asbestos. That's back then. But now you get the ceramic type and the metallic type. There's other type I thought there was a bit of an organic type that usually is made too now, but it's a bit very, very, very expensive, as you said. A bit of an organic bricks. You may find them on more on these high-end vehicles because of the time, and it lasts very, very long. But it's a little more expensive.
Even the go-karts and the bike carry some very thin brakes. Very effective.
Yeah.
Okay. Question. Topping up your reservoir.
Yeah.
With brake fluid.
Yeah.
Okay.
How regular should you do that?
First of all, when you install the brakes on a vehicle originally, the only time you should top the reservoir is if you have a leak in your system, right? But you're not supposed to top it up once you fill it. Anytime you find the brakes light is on, you need to change your brakes.
Yeah, because I guess you're having a decrease.
It's telling you, but if you top it up when it's low, it's telling you, you're not seeing the sign, so it's telling you your brakes is okay.
Yeah.
So you cannot really get that sign telling you, well.
So you're saying a decrease in your brakes fluid is an indication that your brakes are going, or your brakes are slow,
or your brakes are going,
or you may have a leak.
You
may have a leak.
Right.
Because you may have new brakes and you find it in a couple of days, but I'm losing fluid for whatever reason. So I guess And before we get to the next call, how important it is to take your vehicle to a very qualified mechanic? How important is that? You touched on it briefly earlier when you said folks sometimes go by a roadside mechanic and he may just do what you may ask of him to do for you. Change my brakes, so he changes your brakes. Do this for me, and he does it. But how important is it for someone to visit qualified individuals, especially when it comes to mechanical work on your vehicle? How important is that?
Obvious. If you take your vehicle to somebody who will just charge a minimum amount of price and something happen, they're not responsible. But if you take it to a qualified mechanic, they are responsible if anything should happen after they have changed their brakes. Right? Because what will happen, they're supposed to test the brakes, make sure the brakes is functioning before the vehicle is being delivered to you.
Yeah. Right. But I guess someone who just know the work and they do it for you, is the onus is on you as an individual.
I'm not saying that it doesn't have individual who know how to do it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that once you take it to somebody that is reliable, you know that you could depend on knowing that it's supposed to be done
getting
properly.
a proper job. You're getting a proper job done.
Right.
All right. Let's take another caller. Caller live. Good morning. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Yeah, listen to the program. That is very important in any case, giving all tips and bits and drivers, okay, and who good to drive and what on the road. The road I'm talking about now is concrete and tar. Which is better way to drive on? Which one lasts your vehicle longer, tires longer than what we are? Tar and thing. Concrete road, tar. The vehicle one and which one lasts? Which one? The better way to drive on?
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. And that will be our final caller. After this, we may have to take a wrap for today. You want to answer the caller, sir, in terms of he was asking which is better for you to drive on? Is it the paved road or is the concrete road which is better to drive on?
When you say better to drive on,
well, that's what the caller is asking. Is it better to drive on if you go through the tongue of St. George, you know there are areas where the road is concrete. There's concreted roads. You understand? There are areas where where they have the bitumen on the road. So he's asking which is the better to drive on. I'm not sure how you could answer that. In terms of he's talking about the overall wear and tear of the vehicle.
Okay, for instance, if you go to the States, you will find it has concrete road now, other than the bitumen.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm saying, the road is properly done for concrete to drive, and you will drive on it and you won't hear no noise, as if you just drive with the road that is made out of concrete, right? And does not have they have a wave in it for the tire tracks. So what I'm saying now, over here, if you find it has concrete on a road, is because that surface there is kind of soft or is sliding. So they put the concrete there to keep that part of the road firm.
I mean, most roads in Grenada where the concrete is done for that particular purpose. Because there were movement of the soil and so forth. So it was better to use a concrete instead of the bitumen.
So if the concrete is properly done, you wouldn't even know that you're on a concrete. Yeah. But if it's done with way you call it a part of it has a joint for extract contraction.
For traction of your tire. Some people say they use it for that reason.
Expand or not, right? Yeah. It has that in it, right? So, for instance, all of them is good to drive on, but the bitumen will give you a smoother ride as cushion, right?
Than the actual concrete. All right.
So then, suggestion: you do the concrete and 1 inch or 2 inches of asphalt on top, and then you have road for life.
Right.
All right, gentlemen, we come to the stage in the moment we're going to have to take a wrap for today's edition of the program. I want to thank you both for being here. Anything in closing before we take a wrap this morning? Anything you guys want to say before we take a wrap? We didn't get Sylvan to chime in this morning, but I think it would not be an issue for him for today.
Yeah. Well, in spite of the brakes is to stop you, still it is always good to drive with due care and attention, right? Because you could press the brakes and you just press it too rash, you could cause the vehicles to slide if there's gravel on the road or anything. So you still have to be observant in whatsoever you do.
All right. Anything you want to say in closing, Mr. McPhail?
Well, I want to thank Marvin for joining us, and the invitation is open whenever you have the time. And
we probably touch on another subject, so no problem at all.
It's very informative this morning.
So I want to thank you both once again. Thank you for being with us this morning, and all the best for the rest of the day. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Hey, folks, that's where we're going to take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. Join me again for another edition tomorrow. That's where we say goodbye.